like a thief in the night. I'm coming for your heart, I'm coming for your heart. This time it's anything goes. I guess I'm just a selfish ghost. Scared because somebody told you I was up to no good, but I'll be here waiting for the chance to take you out this neighborhood. There's a whole wide world for us to see. The only thing you gotta do is follow me, like a thief in the night. I'm coming for your heart, I'm coming for your heart. This time it's anything goes. I guess I'm just a selfish ghost. Guess I'm just a selfish ghost.
Swept away. I'm cornered in the cold where you left me. Left again. Oh, there's a jungle in my head growing wilder. Then it's killing me. I cannot let you go. 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 Tropical
What is up, everyone? Welcome to the live today. We are going to play a lot of games. Let's get started. So yeah, let's join Adam the Aruya first because why not? Maybe he's live too or something. Is he live? I don't know. If you know, please tell me. My Harry names this. I'm going to friend you real quick here. Okay, I got you a friend. Okay, what should we play? What should we play? Maybe let's play some jailbreak first. Let's join Fong Fong. That is a funny name. Yes.
In the cold light of day, we're a flame in the wind, not the fire that we begun. Every argument, every word we can't take.
Okay.
'Cause with all that has happened,
Hello. I'm live right now. Alright guys, if you haven't already, be sure to comment, like, subscribe this live, and so you won't miss out any live. Okay, sure bro. If you want to join me, you can. Join me VIP. Okay. Wait. Join me VIP server. Okay. I'll post the link for you. You can join me here. Yep, you can all join me now.
Change my mind, 'cause this just don't feel right to me. I wanna raise your spirit.
Why dislike? Who dislike?
No, that means I'll have to leave.
No one dislike. Who dislike?
No, that means I'll have to leave.
You can join me if you want.
So I'll go, I will go.
Be prison. No.
So I'll go, I will go.
My alt.
I've been thinking, I want you to be happier. I want you to be happier. Even though I might not like this, I think that you'll be happier.
That's great.
I want you to be happier.
Spawn at the prison.
I want to change my mind, 'cause this
Who?
just don't feel right to me.
Let's escape the prison. That's great. If you want to join me, Minnie, you can join me through the link. And my Harry names this, you can join me too, if you wanted to. We got an army helicopter and okay, welcome to the live, everyone. Yeah, welcome to life. If you want, you can take key, but I don't know. So yeah, the helicopter sit down. Yeah, also, you have bad luck for your whole life if you don't subscribe to me. Let's take the jetpack. Yes, we will play some jailbreak later. Did you took jetpack? Yep, you do have jetpack. So let's rob the museum first, and then we should be good. Play a new game. This is laggy. What do you mean? This is VIP server. It's not laggy. Your recording is laggy. We'll play other games like Vehicle Simulator, Bloxburg, or something else later. There will be a stream. Yeah, so yeah. Me bad at English. So yeah. Is anybody still inside? Where is my mouse? Okay, it is right here. Somebody's still inside and I can't move. You need to rejoin. Rejoin. You are laggy. If you are laggy, it must be your PC's fault. It's not my fault. Or maybe it's my stream's fault. I don't know. Alright, phone. And where is IMOS? Where is he? Oh, I see you right there. What are you doing? What are you doing? What do you think you're doing? Come on, the helicopter, come on. Rock. Okay, power plant. I will also rock. So let's come over here. Come over here and go down here. Wait. This is very tricky. Okay, this goes here, 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 and this goes here, right? Let's go. Okay. Faster. Phone. You need to be faster. Otherwise, we can't get there on time and get that juicy money. Okay, this is great. We rob the power plant, we rob the museum, we rob. Okay, good. Bank, bonk. Let's rob the bank first, and yeah. Okay, this vault is blue vault. What are you doing? Okay. Yeah, I want a friend. Why? Oh, I friended you. You are, I think, Jaden had her. Oops, maybe. If I didn't, I don't know. But yeah. Oops. Yeah, I know. Hello, Bloxy, ROBLOX, welcome to the live. If you haven't already, please subscribe because it helps me a lot. I will very appreciate. Yes, you can join me, Minnie. Sure, join me. Come on, let's get back out of here. Yep, right over here. So let's rob the jewelry store. Is jewelry store open? Yes, it's indeed open. It is indeed open. Why my voice is like this? Now, let's punch it. I always press the wrong button with the stream deck like this. So yeah. So if you are not in my helicopter and if we rob, we are not selfish because you didn't come with us. You didn't follow us. So yeah. I can become a baby like this.
I'm a baby. I'm a baby. I'm a baby. Oh no, don't oof. Don't oof. Yes.
And
I'm a hacker.
I'm baby.
Hacker, I'm going to hack you all. Ha 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 ha. Hack you all.
Okay. So yeah. What's your username? My username is my Uber name's this. Can you play a new game? Yeah, sure, later. We can play a new game, but later. Later. Let's drop the power plant again, or maybe museum because it is open right now. Don't oof yourself, don't oof yourself. Fong. Come over here, come over here. No, my username's this. It's not is. It's MY0OFERNAMESTHIS. Bye bye, Fong. You're going. Okay, it's okay. Let's rock the power plant, maybe, or something. No. Let's play another game. What is this? So yeah, can I play? Sure, friend me. It's okay if you can friend me. Let's play vehicle simulator for a while, or maybe let's play other game. Let's play what should we play? Comment down what should I play now, so I can play with you guys. Let's play some Mad City then. Mad City for life. Thank you Mini Default for subscribing. Welcome to the family. So yeah, this is Mad City, and let's get started. This is empty. This is so yeah. So let's search the things. Plastic, really? You can join me if you want. I can get a friend for you. Gunpowder. Okay, I'm level 11. Metal. What can I have? Is this a lockpick? Screwdriver, yes. Where to use the screwdriver? Pistol. Hurt someone. Nope, I don't have a rope. How to play wood. Okay. One last bin if there's nothing in here. Pistol. Okay. Pistol. Interesting. Lockpick. Okay, lockpick. Good. Let's lock pick door. Come open vent and get our phone open. Open this vent. Camaro, hello Obama. Oh, hello Obama gamer. Welcome to the live. So let's escape, and there we escape. Comment down what should I buy. Mad City I have 65 60 I don't know, $65,300. What should I buy? I don't know. Comment down. Let's customize our car. How RAM your PC? 16 RAM. I got 16 RAM GGDR 4 or 5. How RAM? 16 gigabytes of RAM is enough. Star power. Where is red waves? Equip back. Window color. Jet black. And spoiler. Maybe I like this is good. Engine boost buy. Okay, let's rob the bank since it's opened. Menu, options, vehicle settings, off, on, friends. Hey, where are you going? Come on. Let's. Oh no, there's a hero. Oh no. Escape from the hero. No. Where is the hero? Escape. New bank. Oh my god, this is the bank. Oh my god, there's a new bank. Yay. Let's come over here. Rob the bank. This vehicle is not for sale. I don't know why I didn't click it. But let's rob the bank. New bank. How to rob? Stop spamming mini default or my bot will terminate you. I'm sorry for that. We get through this, and stop it. I'm going to ban you. Okay, right over here. Oh no, I need to crawl down. I have 65 health. Where we go? Oh. What? What the heck? What's what's wrong? Oh, this is the jewelry store. I robbed this for the first time. 5. Hello Galactic Speeder, welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. Okay, let's punch it. I don't know why it is click to punch, but yeah. If you wanna shout out, you tell me, okay? Shout out to Mini Default. Be sure to subscribe to him, alright? If you want, just tell me. Five, 5,500, 6,000, 6,500, 700, 7,500, 8,000, 8,500, 9,000. Oh, 9,500. Oh, 10,000. Okay, the max is 10,000. Let's go through the exit. Oh my god. No, no! My heart. Okay, dude, pick me up. Sure, later. Where did you join me? You mean I picked you up from home? Okay, sure. How to come get you? You need to escape by your own. I'm sorry. Our car, where is our car? Rip. I'm at prison. I know I can't go in the prison. You know what I mean? I don't have a helicopter. Where is my car? Is my car here? Oh, I think it's right over there. Can you use car and wait outside prison? Sure. But after you escape prison, you tell me in live chat. I will come for you. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Where is our car? Here is our car. Let's spawn our car earlier. Hello, no hacks, just boss. Welcome to the live. Please subscribe to me. If you subscribe, I really appreciate it. Thank you. No, what? Okay, get over here. And the ship. Okay, 10,000 cash. Good. Galactic Speeder, I told you need to escape first. The ship is right over here. Simple obbies. Right over here. You need to. I can't go in. I will get. Also, I don't have helicopter. I'm playing Ninja Legends. No. Say oop lasagna. No, this is Mad City. Mad City. The max is 4,000. Let's spawn ourselves a car. Right over here. Thanks. I like your bit, thanks. Whoa. What just happened? The cop can't come in, he's silly. Let's get our cash first. Yep, level 12. Yep, we just killed the cop. Bye, mini default, bye. No hacks, just boss. Oh yeah. The Night Hawk. What is this? Can we rob this store? I'm going out of prison. Sure. You can go out of prison. Let's go back to prison then. But wait, where is the prison? The prison is right over where? Where is prison? Where is prison? Do we have a boat? Yes, we do. Stop! Get off! Okay. Let's go. No. Where is prison? It's okay. So we should how to get up. I wish we have a helicopter. Let's come over here and yep, let's spawn the car right here. Welcome to the live. LOL. Have we switched to jailbreak? Yeah, sure, later. Let's play jailbreak later. After we rob the bank. After bank. Cause bank is under robbery right now. A whole new bank. Whole new bank. Right over here. And come up. Is there anything down here? Nope. How do we rob the new bank? I have no idea. Which way should we go? Is this the bank? Nope, this is not the bank. Maybe the bank is right over here. How to rob the new bank? I have no idea. Where is the bank? Really? Right here again? What? Stop it, I want to go back. It's not even open. Okay, let's play another game. Yes, we can play jailbreak right now. Jailbreak. Let's play jailbreak. Why? I click jailbreak. So the link is right over here. You can click join. Who wants a vault safe? Type your username in the chat. Who wants a vault safe? A vault safe for free. Free, F-R-E-E. Free, F-R-E-E-E-E-E. Free, 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 free. Free. Okay. My microphone is ready. Police. Reset. Oh, so many vault safe. Let's open. Here, right over here. Hey, stop blocking the... Hey! Oh my god. Donut, really? So... right over here. One more save to go. Right here, can you friend? Okay, sure. I'm going to friend them. What is he playing? Okay, I friended them. Everyone, let's come over here. Take the SUV. Who shot my ult? Who is this? Who are you? Stop! What are you doing? Let's come over here. Okay, I see what you want to do. I see. Who took the stupid army helicopter? I'm going to take this. Where are you going? Stop fighting in that. What's wrong with my microphone? Oh yeah. Let's take a jetpack. Stop.
And baby, just please don't go.
Who is that? Who are you? Stop. What? Let's rob the power plant. Yeah, I know. So, right over here. What? What happened to my screen? I don't know. Let's come over here. Let's go right here. This. What happened to my mic? I have no idea. But yeah. Come over here. Here. Stop blocking the helicopter. Oops, sorry. Sorry, Galactic Speeder. You know what? Forget the money. Dude, I somehow fell through the map. Rip. Fell through the map. Rip. Riprino. I don't. Who robbed the museum selfishly will be kicked. Who is trying to rob? Okay, let's come and rob this thing. I mean museum. Museum is wide open. Let's rob the bank. Okay, bank. Let's rob the bank. Someone need to come right here. Bank. Oh. All go bank. BANK. Bank, 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 bank. Oh, someone sent me a vault save. Thank you so much to whoever sent me a vault save. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Super lime. Oof. 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 Brr. I'm the best default player. Yeah, you're right. Let's come over here. Right over here. Yes. My army helicopter. Let's rob the jewelry store. I hope I can. I have no jetpack. Okay. What? Shout out to I fan you 07. Thank you so much for free vault saves. I really appreciate that. Thanks. 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 Let's play some Bloxburg later, and maybe we'll end the stream. I'm sorry. here? What does that mean? I have no idea. Oof! Why are you taking all the jewelry? Why? Wow. What? Right here. Alright, we just robbed the jewelry store. Oh my god, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much, dude. Really appreciate that. So you're going to drive. And guys, okay. Okay, let's go to museum. Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? Can I come? No, later. But not now, okay, hamster bad boy. No, why? Why I always get ragdolled? Okay, let's come and grab this painting and this painting. Okay. Someone just rip him. So yeah. Today's live stream is so amazing. I hope. Can I be cop? Sure. What? Sure, but no. If you arrest, you will get kicked. What should we rob next? Every 10 subscriber, I will give 10 votes safe. Are you live? Yes, I'm live. I am live. So after this robbery, I might end the stream here. Yeah. After real Marcus Kwoon. Let's rob the last door. Alright, last door. Last door might be okay, bank. Who taste me? So yeah, last robbery, then I'll end the stream here. Next week's stream might be who taste me? Who is that? Okay, welcome. Welcome, Kurt. Welcome, KURTABUL. Hello, good 37. Welcome to the live. I'm gonna end the stream off here after the robbery. So yeah, the power plant is under robbery. No, we are not robbing it. I'm sorry, but yeah. After this, I will end stream. I will let one cop arrest me after I rob, so you better wait outside because I don't want to waste the bounty. So you go out first, cop. All cop go out. After I rob, you can is that? Who is that? Can anybody see that? Cowboy, okay. I see you are the jazz. So in today's stream we had very fun. So next time if you want to join us, be sure to comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Bye.